The 2000s Project IGI, or I'm Going In, by Interloper Studios, was a punishing, frustrating, but very ambitious first-person shooter with huge multi-objective levels that mix stealth with all-out action. I have mixed feelings towards it, however I understand and respect its cult following. The same can't be said of the 2003 sequel. IGI 2 tries to continue the success of the first game with some welcomed improvements and almost approaches quality, but tweaks to the combat mechanics makes it a boring and annoying slog of a game. Look, if you're a fan and don't want to hear me whine, just click away, because as someone who has played many FPSs from the same period, IGI 2 doesn't hold up. Story was never a focus in the first game, and the same applies to the sequel. As Covert operator David Jones, you work for the Institute of Geotactical Intelligence, and in the opening you carry out operations to secure some EMP technology before it's used. The characters present are little more than task givers, and there's no light-hearted banter like in the first game. It's very to the point with only the occasional opening mission cutscene, mostly to run down the objectives. There is a greater variety of locations, from Russian and Eastern European steppes to the cities and deserts of Libya, before finally ending with an assault on the Spratly Islands. While pretty ordinary, IGI 2 touts massive levels that the player must observe, infiltrate, fight through and escape, all while completing a list of objectives from shutting down security systems, picking up items, and protecting VIPs, and clearing the way to the next mission. Credit given, the levels are decently engrossing with nice weather effects, wide view distances, and particularly how most levels start overseeing the entire map, really taking it in. Mines, factories, military bases, and palaces are where most action takes place, and reveal a lack of polish with what feels like a lot of the same wall textures reused throughout the game. The same can't be said of the PDA map, which gives a nice bird's eye view of the stage and lays out where the objectives are and their order. Outside of the large maps, IGI 2 is a very linear game. You have to carry out tasks in order, and more often there's only one or two paths through a level. The game does have light stealth mechanics with a sound meter, silenced weapons, and alarms that if triggered have shock troops flood the area. It had seemed reasonable to stay low and quiet, but for nearly all missions this is neither required nor even recommended, as you inevitably at one point alert the area, typically in a scripted event. So just killing everyone first and foremost is a good idea. Even if you want to be stealthy, there's only a couple of silenced weapons and lights can't be shot out, reducing your options. It doesn't help that the enemy AI borders on brainless. They'll often move backwards and forwards when alerted, or stay still even when their buddies are blown away, or get caught in the environment and even throw grenades indoors. Amazing. You'd imagine that combat would be easy, except the shooting mechanics are made almost unplayable. Most enemy mooks go down with one or two shots, but engagement distances are often far and made unfairly difficult by the genuine accuracy of weapons and the lack of iron sights or a zoom feature, aside for sniper rifles. Which is stupid, as weapons like the G36 have a scope on them that you can't use. So combat forces you to stop, crouch, line up a target and spray a magazine and hope you hit something. This is made worse as the enemies don't suffer your stiff aim, rather they can run around and snipe you with pinpoint accuracy, with SMGs and pistols, even whilst you're behind cover. This creates a combo of very unfair deaths and broken gameplay. Overly precise enemies were an established issue in the first game, yet this was remedied by the large selection of weapons that enabled close and long-range firefights. IGI 2 restricts you to just two weapons, a primary and a pistol. You want to have a long-range rifle and a close-range shotgun? Tough shit, it's one or the other. This flat out breaks the game, as you're never given the chance to prepare and counter the opposition, forcing you to corner snipe or cheap enemies out into herds. This is something that doesn't mesh well with the level design, since some missions don't drop secondary weapons, so once you run dry, you literally can only use one weapon. It's terrible. A shame, since a lot of guns sound and handle pretty well, like the AUG and the Norinco. It is partially manageable by the game finally including a limited save function done via the PDA, much like a Metal Gear Solid or Hitman. The game is completable, but after seeing enemies shoot through cover and hit you across the map with the same weapons you can barely handle, I gave up and picked the easy mode. Oh yeah, I couldn't fix the game from crashing after using the PDA when loading a save, and along with a myriad of technical issues, it's hard to stomach. There's simply much better games to offer what the original IGI sold: Far Cry, Viet Cong, Metal Gear Solid 5, Mercenaries. Yeah, I know these titles came later, that's kind of my point. Why subject yourself to a far inferior product than ones that still hold up? For its punishingly unfair gameplay and often buggy performance, ignoring IGI 2 is a safe bet, even for fans and shooter fanatics.